Hi friends, it's Whit. I'm here with another video to help empower and encourage you on your path to purpose. Today, I'm here with a video to teach you about embracing the season that you're in and give you some tips on how to do that. So stay tuned after the intro and let's get into the message. Okay, friends, so I know you're probably a little intimidated, like, what does she mean embrace the season that I'm in? I'm going through so much right now. I get it. I've had those seasons, just came out of one not too long ago, and sometimes it feels like everything is just going wrong in your life. But we have to understand that a lot of times when that's happening, that means there's about to be a big shift in our life, and the quality of our life is about to get better. So it's just the whole removing the old and out with the new. So, or in with the new, sorry. So anyways, to discuss this, I wanted to go back to talking about the plants. And like I said, it was a little bit ago when I got this message. So those two messages, my previous message about the plants and, being watered down, it kind of went along with this message, but I didn't get it recorded. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm here with the message today. So I hope it really helps you and encourages you, and I'm hoping it's the right on time word for you. So if you're going through a lot, or if you've been through those seasons where it's just really hard to be grateful, I just want to help you through this and just help you prepare for when those seasons come back around. Like I said, sometimes there's a big shift in our life and it seems like everything is going wrong. The people that we love are leaving. We're leaving a job or a home. We're losing a lot of things that had value to us. And we're just like, okay, God, what are you doing? Because I was happy where I was at. I was fine where I was at. But sometimes we hold on to things and we try to stay in that season, and that season is dying out. It's time to move into the next position, but we don't want to move. So God just takes it and starts plowing himself like, okay, if you won't get rid of it, I'll force you to get rid of it. And he just allows everything to leave to push you into that next season and to help you to grow. So I just hope to give you some tips that'll help you understand the process. And I think when we understand the process, it helps us a lot to have more peace in the situation and have a lot more patience. So first I wanted to start with planning. Of course, first you have to prepare the soil, the location where you're going to plant it, and make sure you have the right climate and conditions for the plant to thrive. And sometimes, unfortunately, we live in an apartment. We don't have a garden. Where can we plant something? So we have to create the right conditions within our home. We have to get lighting, and we have to get the right soil. We have to get a pot that's suitable for the plant. We can't get one that's too big, and we can't get one that's too small. So we have to get the right resources, and for that we have to go to the garden store or the source. So sometimes we just need to go to God and ask him what we need to be doing. Ask him for the things that we need to provide the provision and show us and give us direction to help us in that season. A lot of times we're not being faithful in the little things, and we're like, God, can you give us something bigger? But we're sitting here complaining about all the things that we're having to do, the small things. We're not being consistent in those small things. We're not being patient with those things. We're not even mastering those things before we're trying to move on to the next level. So God is like, okay, look, embrace the season that you're in. Do what you got to do right now. So like I said, we may not be where we want to be. We may be in a different place, but we can embrace that season. We can plant where we are. So first, go to the source. Ask for what we need. Ask what we can do with what we have, and be faithful in the little things. Then it's time to plant the seeds. So we got everything that we need to at least start somewhere, to start something God has given us direction in. It may just be taking that first step of being consistent in reading your Bible. We want God to bless us in our business. We want God to bless us in our relationships, or bless us with a relationship. We want God to do all this work, but we're not even putting that time in. We're not investing in ourselves by reading the word and spending time in prayer, writing in a prayer journal so that we can see that growth and see our blessings and see our prayers be answered. We're not praying. Like I said, we're not going to church. We're not in fellowship of any type. We're not worshiping. We're not even thanking God for the stuff that we have. Even though, maybe 2 years ago we didn't even have what we have now, we're still unwilling to be grateful for where we are. We have to understand if we can't be happy where we are, it's always going to be a struggle for us. So recognize that you may not be where you want to be, but you are further than where you started. So be thankful for that. Be faithful in the little things. Start reading your Bible. Start praying more. Start spending time with God. Start listening to see what ideas and what things He shows you. Ask for direction. Ask for how you can serve and ask for His will over your life. I understand we want certain things, and that may be our reason to come to God, but we have to understand that He knows us best. And like I always say, He knows what's going around everywhere. He knows, He hears the conversations we don't hear. He knows what we don't even recognize in ourselves. He knows we're not prepared for certain things. So we have to wait on His timing. In the meantime, there are things that we need to be doing to prepare. So ask God for direction in that. Ask Him to continue to fulfill your current needs. If you have what you have for that day, enjoy that day. If your rent is paid for the month, don't start worrying about next month. Enjoy your place for today. I got that from Dr. Miles Monroe, and he had got me right together because I am a planner. I like to know what's coming up. I like to be expecting it. I don't like not knowing. But with God, sometimes we don't know. And we have to understand that we have to be grateful for where we are, for one, and we have to appreciate the moment that we're in right now. So, anyhow, plant the seeds. We have the source. We're being faithful in the little things. We got the soil ready. We got the right type of soil. We got the right type of pot. We got a place in our house that's getting enough light. So now it's time to plant the seed. So we're going to put the seed in the ground, and we have to understand once we plant that seed, in 10 minutes, we're not going to go back and see a plant. We're not going to see a tree. We're not going to see a flower. We're not going to see anything but dirt still. And we're going to know that seed is in the ground, but we won't see anything. So we still have to continue to be faithful in those little things. We also have to understand, depending on what kind of tree it is or what kind of plant it is, it may take a really long time to grow, but that's okay. We can, in the meantime, plant a lot of little seeds. And what I mean, or plant a lot of seeds. And what I mean by that is invest in yourself. Know the Bible, have a relationship with God, get in fellowship, get around people, try to find people either on social media or just even on YouTube. You can find different people who talk about their businesses and whatever your vision is for your life or whatever you feel like you're wanting to do with your life. Do your research, do your reading, learn about all of this, learn what it takes. So that way, whenever it's time to get that harvest, you know how to handle it, you know how to deal with it. Recognize the more you put in the ground, the more you will harvest. Even though, like I said, it may take more investing in the beginning. It may take more buying of different types of seeds, and it may take more work putting them in the ground and finding the right type of soil and finding the right type of pot. Or if you're putting them in the ground, finding the right place, in the garden for this where it will thrive. Understand that whenever we put more in, we get more out. So if you're willing to do more work, if you're willing to put more effort in and put more time in and put more of your energy into it, you will get more out. Yes, it may not be immediate, but it will start paying off. Don't rush the process. I can't stress this enough. First of all, if you go to the plant and it hasn't come out the ground, there's nothing you can do. So the best thing for you to do is just to continue to nourish and nurture that plant. Continue to water it, feed it. And when it starts growing, water it, continue to feed it. Like I said, make sure everything's right. Make sure you don't need to move it to a bigger pot. Pruning it. We have to prune sometimes in our real life, not just in the plant. We have to cut out things that aren't helping us, whether it's people or sin, things that are holding us back. So sometimes we need to prune. And what this looks like in real life is being consistent, being patient, persevering. Sometimes it's going to seem like you put that seed in the ground forever ago and it's not doing anything, and you're going to want to give up. But keep going. Put that effort in and watch it grow. Ask God back to what I just said. Understand, even when it does start growing, you don't want to start pulling from that plant before it's too soon. If you plant a fruit tree and you pull that fruit off and it's not ripe, so you have to pull it, you have to really work to get that fruit from the tree, and you pull it off and it's sour. So it's not even good. So you did all that work and you pulled the fruit off and it's not even good. So it's better to let it mature. It's better to be patient and just in that moment, just enjoy the beauty of it. You're seeing it grow now. You see it started as just a seed and now you're actually seeing something coming up out the ground. Enjoy the beauty. Enjoy that, recognize that, okay, I actually did change. I actually have changed some things. Just like in our real life, we might just change one, we may stop doing one sin. We may live in a whole other world of sin, but we may have just cut out one small thing out of our life. And we may start to see fruit from that. We have to be grateful for that. We have to be grateful that we had that small change. Even though we may still suffer with sin, we have changed. We did more than what we were doing before. There's beauty in that. That's a blessing. That's growth. So don't beat yourself up. Don't give up because you don't see a whole lot of growth at first. Just keep going. Let the Holy Spirit work within you. Let God change you from the inside out and show you what you need to work on. And understand that if you don't have a whole lot of change, it's okay. Just keep being persistent in watering and nurturing and feeding and pruning. Or, like I said, consistency, patience, prayer, persistence, effort. So just keep working on it. Enjoy, like I said, those small blessings, and remember that the more you're willing to work, the more you're willing to gain. Okay, you're going to fail. You're going to fall short at times. That's okay. Our biggest lessons come from when we make mistakes. If someone tells us not to do something, we may not even understand why they're telling us not to do it. If we go to school and they say, don't do this, or don't do that, or do it this way, we may think we found a better way and go do it our way, and then we make a mistake and we learn from that. And once we make that mistake, it's something that sticks with us. It sticks with us better than what someone has told us, because now not only do we have that experience, but we have that understanding that I shouldn't do it like this because last time I did it like this happened. Don't be afraid to fail. We can research and we can do everything, but sometimes we still fail. I know I mentioned before, whenever I first bought succulents, I overwatered them, and I had done my research. I knew that I wasn't supposed to water it that often, and the research that I said only water it when the soil was dry. So I was watering when the soil was dry, but it was the top of the soil. Apparently the bottom was still full of water, and any of my gardeners here know that's still moisture, and those roots were probably soggy and rotted, which caused the plants to die. I had done my research, but I still killed my plants. I made a mistake. But then whenever I got my newer plants, my newer succulents, I knew, okay, just spritz a little water on it every few weeks, even depending on the type of plant it is. Just spritz a little water on it every few weeks and it will be great. So it's okay to fail. It's okay. We're going to fail. And like I said, that's where our best lessons come from. Learn what you can while you're failing, while you're in that season. Even if it's not failing, just whatever you can. You may notice more growth whenever you're doing certain things. You may notice when you overwater or you use the wrong soil that the soil is not draining like it should for that plant. So it may not be as healthy. Learn what you can in that season. That way, if you're in an apartment trying to grow something in a pot, whenever you do get ready to put it in the ground, you know where to put it, you know how much light it needs, you know everything. So just learn what you can in the season that you're in. My biggest takeaway from this video, the biggest takeaway I hope you have from this video is be consistent. You have to be consistent in your walk with God. You can't one day, I want to read my Bible and I want to pray, and then I won't do it again for another year. That's not going to work. I know I was one of them who I believed in God, I believed in Jesus, but you couldn't get me to open the Bible. I struggled with that. I didn't want to sit down. I was like, oh, well, I work on Sundays. I don't have time for church. I don't have time to read my Bible. I'm always going on the go. But I learned that whenever I made that a priority, everything else in my life lined up properly. When I made my relationship with God a priority, everything else became less chaotic. I was more organized. I was more understanding. I had more patience I actually gained a desire. Like, I started loving to read the Bible. I started loving to spend time in prayer and loving to listen to my worship music and just praising God, because I was receiving so much from this, like that's the least I can do is spend that time. Like, God, you done did so much for me. I was trying to do all this on my own, and you've really turned my life around. And now I am grateful to be able to thank you. I am grateful to be able to sit here and talk to you for hours or 10 minutes, whatever time I got. I'm grateful to talk to you throughout my day because you just made my life so much easier. And I feel like that's the least I can do. It's just like if someone buys you a gift and you don't feel worthy, you don't even know how to react for real. You don't even know how to thank them. Like, what can I do to thank you? Just being in his presence, having that relationship, that's all he wants. So do those things and watch your life change. Watch you start to blossom. You will grow, you will change, and you will start to have, like I mentioned in the previous video, you will start to reproduce. You'll start to have other people who see your light and they want to grow and they want to change. You will inspire them and encourage them. And it's the whole process. You changing can change the world, literally. There have been people who have changed their life and went out and started serving their purpose, and their gifts changed the world. So please understand that even though it may seem small right now and insignificant, that it is working. Something is happening. It maybe has started out as a seed, but it will grow. Things that are bigger, like trees, it takes even longer to grow, but usually a tree is going to bear larger fruit. You're going to actually be able to eat off of this tree. You're actually going to be able to make money from this tree. Like, there is so much that would come from that tree. Yes, it took more work. Yes, it took longer. It took more space. It took more time. But there was also a bigger harvest. I hope that this message touched home for you, and I'm going to get off of here, but I love you all. I can't wait to make the next video for you. I hope you have a blessed night.